Welcome to the Positive Pants Podcast. Mindset, motivation, and inspiration to help you find your positive pants. Let go of negative thinking and stop living for the weekend. With your host, Fran Excel.
So welcome to the show. As always, it's Fran Excel Mindset Coach helping you find your very own pair of positive pants so you can get out of your own way and live a life that you love. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm very grateful you've chosen to put me in your earbuds today. Please do hit the subscribe button so you don't miss anything, and do leave me a review. I love reading them, and it really helps me get found by other people who need to hear what I share. I'd also love you to email me your mindset and productivity questions or topics you'd love me to cover to hello@franexcel.com, because I know a lot of you think I'm inside your heads because you tell me all the time. But if I don't know what you need, I can't give it to you. So let me know. I think we can probably all agree that 2020 has been a little bit of a stressful year at times. Business owners and employees alike having to think on their feet, pivot, make huge decisions, try and juggle a lot. You know, revenue streams drying up overnight, furlough, redundancy. It's not been pretty in many cases. Nor helped by a little anxiety, stress, and overwhelm thrown in for good measure. So stress can really stop you in its tracks. Yeah, make everything feel like you're pushing water uphill and like you just can't see your next step. You know, and what's really happening is that your nervous system has gone into overdrive. You're in fight or flight. This means your IQ decreases, your heart rate and your blood pressure increases. Your ability to think creatively seems to disappear. It's not a fun place to be, peeps. It's not. But most of us are living with some level of stress activation constantly, and it doesn't need to be that way. Even when the proverbial has hit the fan and there's a million things going on that make those feelings of stress completely legitimate, it still doesn't have to be that way. You don't have to stay in that state. And it's easier than you might think to change it. So I wanted to run you through my tried and tested, often counterintuitive ways to get out of the downward spiral so you can get back on track and get what you need to do done. I've also... so excited. I have also created something extra special for you so you can start actually doing this right now. So stick around. Sound good? Good. So one thing I'm always teaching my clients is the power of taking a step back to take 2 steps forwards. When you're in stress and overwhelm, like I said, your nervous system goes into overdrive. You're in fight or flight. Your sympathetic nervous system is activated and flooding your body with stress hormones, adrenaline, and cortisol. So the long-term effects of staying in stress are plentiful. I have actually done a whole other episode on this, so go back. If you haven't binged every single episode yet, what are you doing? So yes, the long-term negative effects of staying in stress are plentiful, as well as the short-term physiological feelings and an inability to actually think straight, make good decisions, or get anything done, thus increasing the frustration and stress. So you can see why I talk about it as a loop and why it's important that you can create the awareness needed to make a different choice in the moment so you don't stay there. As I'm always saying, awareness is always the first key to making any change. The ability to catch yourself in those moments and go, I'm feeling pretty stressed and overwhelmed right now. Or noticing the physiological changes that go on in your body, where you feel it in your body, that are individual to you and your response. You know, they're going to be important. Once you know what they are, you can then set about regulating your nervous system, and it is easier, quicker, and more counterintuitive than you might think. Now, I hear what you're saying. I don't have time. I'm too busy. I just need to power through. I know this because I've been you, and it doesn't work. So do yourself a favor and take any of these 10 to 15 minutes activities, which could give you hours back in your day, and going back to the long-term effects again, years back to your life. If you can take the time, just give it a try and see the difference it makes and how quickly it makes it. So these are a few of my personal favorites to give you a few ideas. Have a think about what always relaxes you, what makes you feel good, calm, in control, what makes you feel the way that you want to feel in this moment. Then once you figure out all of these, stick them everywhere, post-its or reminders in places where you often feel that stress. So a great place to start would be your computer. Remember, we're forming a new habit, so we need that trigger to remind us of the tools that we have in our toolkit because it's not natural just yet. So here we go. My faves. Get out in the garden. Hiccuped there. Hope you enjoyed that. So I will go outside and water the plants and the greenhouse. I'll walk outside barefoot. Obviously, most of these are slightly more suited to spring and summer, but I will still do it. I'll sit in the garden chair and do a mindful exercise, noticing what I'm seeing, hearing, smelling. Even in the winter, I can do this in a blanket. I'll do some grounding where I imagine roots growing out from my feet into the earth. It sounds weird, I know, but it works a treat. It just grounds you into the present moment and reconnects you with where you are, when you are, and back into your body. Remember that stress usually happens when we're either worrying about something that's happened already, so living in the past, or worrying about something that might happen, but in all likelihood won't, living in the future. So just get out in nature, go for a quick walk. It does wonders for the stress levels. It really does. Any kind of exercise will have this effect. So for 10 minutes, do like a HIIT training, a little run, bounce on a trampoline, And then when it comes to being outside, for me, if I can get near water, it's an extra little oomph. So I will walk down to the canal, or occasionally I'll hop in the car and go to the beach. Yeah. Next one to do, breathe. Easy, right? You'd think so. When we're stressed, we tend to breathe really shallow and often from our chest. So when you can take more of like a deep belly breath, which is how we used to breathe as babies, so it takes a little practice. So it will feel weird to start with, but it really helps to activate your parasympathetic nervous system. I'm a big fan of breath work too. So have a Google or search on YouTube for some breath work tutorials. Even a few minutes can completely change my state of mind and give me like this natural buzz, this clarity and focus. I'm fairly new to it. I've only been following it for about 6 months, but I am obsessed. So you can incorporate this, like 10 minutes of yoga, something like Tai Chi or Qigong, which are moving meditations. Anything that works with the breath and allows you to be conscious of it. So next one, cooking or baking. I married a chef for a reason. I'm not a massive fan, but if you follow me on Instagram at I'm Fran Excel, you'll often see me doing my quick oat and raisin cookies. Again, it's a complete distraction. It's mindful. You're weighing and measuring, so your mind is off the problem, in inverted commas. And I often find that is the very thing that gets my creative thinking going again. That allows me to solve it. So instead of me sitting at my desk for a couple of hours, racking my brains, getting more and more and more frustrated, it's the magic step back to take 2 forward. So if you're one of those people who always gets their best ideas in the shower or the car, then you'll relate to this and you'll get exactly what I mean. The next thing is do something creative. This works just the same as cooking and baking. Something that you love doing that is creative. I'm looking to learn knitting next. Why not? I'm actually quite jealous when I see all these people knitting wonderful things. Why not? Anything like drawing, painting, sculpting, upcycling things, making jewelry, anything that gives you a double whammy of being something that you love, but also something that gets you into flow. It's relaxing, it's mindful, it's allowing you to activate the all-important parasympathetic nervous system. So have a think about some creative things that you can get up to. Oh, next one. It's a game changer. The land of power naps. I am a huge fan of a power nap, but there are rules to be adhered to for this one. So you don't wake up feeling more stressed and sleepy. I set a timer for 25 minutes, but I'm at that point where I know this is good for me. I know this will get me back on track. So if the first couple of times you try it, it's not as relaxing as you expect, stick with it. So when you set a timer for 25 minutes, it means realistically there will only be a proper 20-minute power app, but that allows me to work with my sleep cycles. So I wake up feeling super refreshed and ready to go. And I often like to do this, double whammy again for you, my friends, because I'm always thinking about you. I like to do this on my Shakti mat, which is basically like, there's lots of them everywhere. And they are essentially like the modern version of a bed of nails, and you get that extra benefit of those lovely endorphins that it releases, leading to those real kind of Zen type feelings. Now, saving the best for last, the ultimate regulator for me, meditation. I meditate daily, and when I'm stressed out or super busy, I meditate more, not less. It really is an amazing and easy way to get back on track. And the more you do it, the more you form the habit. You create focus, you create clarity, you can have breakthroughs. It allows your left and right hemispheres of your brains to talk better to each other. The corpus callosum separates the right and the left hemisphere of the brain. And in meditators, that is thicker, meaning the connection is better. Yeah. And if you've tried meditation before and didn't feel like you were good at it, in inverted commas, this leads me nicely onto the special something that I have created for you. I've created, and I'm so excited about this, I've created a free stress to success meditation for you. So even when you think you have no time and you're not good at it, it incorporates a few of my favorite techniques that I've been talking about already in one meditation. That's 10 minutes to really get you out of the stress cycle and back on track, really activate your parasympathetic nervous system. It's been road tested to rave reviews, I must say, from clients. And I'm really, really proud to share it with you. In a world of freebie graveyards, I'm hoping that I've created something that is really, really useful and helpful and something that you can use every single day. So I will link it up in the show notes. It's also in my bio on Instagram. It's also everywhere that you can think of. So, and I hope you love it as much as I do. So they have my favorite ways to get out of stress and back to it in the quickest time possible. I know they seem counterintuitive. That's the genius of it. And like you don't have time, but you will get so much more done. So give them a go or write your own list. What calms my nervous system may not always work for you. So find your thing, your triggers, your physiological responses and get to know them. But just know and understand that you have way more control than you think you do. When you can create that awareness, notice the stress response early on and consciously choose to do something differently, it will help you no end. You'll be able to make better decisions, get more done, stop overthinking, feel more in control. So as usual, it's worth a go, right? So if you got value from this and you know in your gut that now is the time to step up and start rewiring your thinking and changing things for yourself, then book in a free discovery call so we can work out what needs to happen to get you from where you're at right now to the action-taking success you know you can be. And if you want my eyes and ears on your problems, I work with people one-on-one and through my Proactive Pants Mastermind. So stop waiting for if and when and decide to change things now because you can. And as always, I hope that was helpful. So any questions, just let me know. And as always, I will see you next week. Bye.